I did a dumb thing,
Yes,
or
I'm
I don't know.
sure.
Maybe it's dumb. Maybe it's the smartest
Johnny
purchase
Dumb or
I've ever
Chase Dumb
made.
or Bobby Dumb?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Fill us
Chase,
in.
so I guess it's Chase dumb. I bought a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was cheap. Our good friend Wario64 said, "Hey, this is cheap."
Was it a bucket of mayonnaise?
It was
Sometimes he tweets
not.
out
It
stuff like that.
was not.
Was
The
it the
beats.
10-pound Toblerone? What
Hi.
are what are
These are my Gunner blue blocking glasses.
Yeah, now we can see all the smut on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hot. That's some hot Johnny
Mm.
reflection porn right there. I don't know. These are like normally $60 or something, and they were on sale for like 15. And it's like, I don't know. That sounds stupid. Why don't I grab one of these?
They're very Tony
Um,
Stark.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I look like the dad from Heroes, like the
The
cheerleader's
horn rim
dad.
man.
Yes.
Was it
You
horn
know,
rimmed or
the
horny rimmed?
horn rimmed.
It's both.
People were horny rimmed for him, or horny to
Ah,
be
yes.
rimmed by him. I don't
You mean
know.
Oscar's partner?
Sure.
You look like a nerdier Walter Subject.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much they were actually going to reflect on the screen, but I don't know. Maybe I'll keep them on for this.
If you could have asked me, I would have told you.
They do block some blue. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's like a nice warm feel to everything. I mean, they're still glasses. They feel
So
like
it's like having night mode on.
a little bit, yeah. I mean, there's like a slight dimness to everything because there's, obviously something over my eyes, but I don't know. I don't know if I hate it.
Do you just have the man group now?
Man group. Why? I'm sorry, I do not follow.
Well, you're blocking the blue, so I'm certain. Is it just the man group?
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Yes. I suppose so. I don't know. I don't know if
Johnny's
it only
so
blocks
mad
a certain
right now.
amount of blue. Yeah, it's
What about
it's a bad one.
Eiffel 65? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Just I'm
Babadia,
Babadia.
Babaday.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You're just blue blocking the haters away. That's all you're doing.
Here's my thing. I have to come here every fucking week and look at you two and go,
Yep.
God damn, I have perfect vision, and yet I have glasses envy. I look at my two friends who are both wearing glasses and I'm like, man, I just like.
You just want to fit in.
I just like the frame.
Chase is supposed to be able to do take the glasses off and be very pretentious.
Yes, there you go. I want to be able to point.
Yes, listen. I told you I cannot read.
I had a
yes, thank you.
I had a professor in college. It was my jazz, pop, and rock professor.
Oh God,
that was a fun class.
How long was his ponytail, and how bald was the top of his head?
No. He had.
Was his name Roy Donk?
He was. Is anybody watching Barry here? Or
I've not watched this season, but I've watched everything besides.
He was the equivalent of Gene Cousineau. Like he is absolutely like wearing the tweed jackets, the white hair. He's dead now, of course. But
I thought you were gonna say he was the equivalent of Soho Hank.
Not quite.
That would have been very happy.
Betty. He would always do that. Like, he had like certain mannerisms he would do, and one of them was taking off his glasses so he could make a point while he's on stage, and then he'd put his glasses on to make another point. And my friend, our good friend of the show, Pierce Corshane, and I ended up making what we call Michael Budd. Yeah, yes, absolutely. We had a little game we called Michael Budd's Bingo, and we just made bingo cards of like the 12 things that he would always do, and when somebody got a bingo, then the other one bought him lunch that day. So
that sounds fun.
It was fun. I've used it for other people I've met who have annoyed me and have similar mannerisms for work functions and things like that. That's also quite fun.
Did you make
Speaking of being annoyed, You've
Yes.
made it. You have found the most annoying thing on the internet at the moment, and that's saying a lot. We are the Casual Hour. This is episode 321, and it is April 19th, 2023. And we got some video games to talk about. This is a What You've Been Playing episode. If you are unfamiliar with that, here's what's up. We tell you about the games that we've been playing, and then we tell you about some of the news surrounding them. It's a good time. It is what we call a Casual Hour classic episode, not to be mixed up with the likes of our monthly previews, our quick looks, our deep dives, all the things that we put out that you might have heard our name associated with. This is the OG, the original effort from the Casual Hour. I'm Bobby. Joining me is Chase and Johnny. How are you both doing?
All right.
Good. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in the news. I think probably more than what we've been playing. But Chase, it looks like there's something new on your list here, and I'd love to know what the heck you've been doing.
Yeah, so I think it was maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe it was last week. I was talking about playing some more itch games, just trying to play a lot of
You were talking
more
about that.
smaller,
Yeah.
not necessarily new stuff, but just seeing what's up there. New to me anyway.
Yeah.
Again, I think itch is actually pretty bad at telling you when any of these things got released. So I couldn't tell you what's a 2023 game or not. But I decided to jump in and try another one of these, and I played a game called Island Maker, which is, I would say, like 50% Dorfromantic.
That was
Bobby, do you
going to be
remember
my first
Go
question.
on.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely some Dorfromantic. And then Bobby, do you remember that black and white itch game that we played? We did a quick look of. It might have just been called Islands, but it was like you had to kind of trace around. It was on a grid. You traced around in black and white and made these little places with forests and homes and shit like
Yeah,
that.
okay. I feel like you and I played this game and
Yeah.
shared
I
scores.
I was
Yeah.
way into it
hmm
for a few months there. Anyway, this is kind of like a combination, I would say, of both of those,
It
and I
looks
think
really cool.
it does look nice. I think it has a nice art style, this kind of pleasing black, red, gold, and white color scheme to it. And it's pretty simple at first. You're just placing a number of different properties on the hex-based world map. Like you get a house and you can place the houses down in certain spots. You can place a farm down, but you want to place the farms near these turnip uh, icons because then that'll be able to field the turnips. And you start to find out that placing stuff randomly is not a great call. So
Yeah.
you play again and you
hmm
start placing stuff kind of more where it belongs. And you see that when you play certain buildings in certain spots or near certain other things, that you'll get bonus buildings. Similar to the way in Dorfromantic, when you place enough things, you get bonus tiles so you can keep playing more tiles.
For sure.
Um, so you kind of keep placing these properties around wherever they fit. Like some places, like there's a hunting camp, and those can only go in the forests. And when you put a hunting camp in a forest, you get a windmill back because the hunters found some wood or something. I don't know. That part
That
doesn't
makes
quite make sense
sense.
to me.
Yeah.
Um, but then you can put the windmill down around farms, and any adjacent farm next to it is going to get you even more farms. So you can put your farms near more of the turnips. And whenever you put a farm near a turnip, now you can put another home. And homes are what you're looking for because population is the score, is the end goal for this stuff. So you want to try getting the biggest population as possible. So it's really kind of this risk reward of trying to place the properties in such a way where you can get as many homes as possible, but also then you get bonuses that can link
It's
directly to the homes.
really cool.
It
I
is
started to click
it's
them like, I got to stop
yeah,
that.
it's pretty addicting, and it's got a number of set levels, and each level has you can kind of game it to get sure your maximum score once you figure out what's going on, and then that kind of keeps tally. So you know you have to start with 4 population on the first area, and when you get to 4, then it unlocks area 2. But you could get maybe like up to 8 or something on the first area. So now you can have like an excess because then you need to get your total population, which is the population on every level combined, to be at such high a score to open up even further options. And you get through it pretty quick. I mean, it's a very small itch game.
Yeah.
I played it in like 2 hours and had everything unlocked. But it has a daily that unlocks eventually, and then it has a final mode which is total random, where it just throws a
Huh.
totally random board at you and says, "Okay, see how many you can get out of this." And I just found it to be really fun. And there was a time where I'd gotten through I think everything to the daily at that point and went, man, how do I unlock the extra population to get to this last locked area? And I was just playing through something else, and there's a building that can copy adjacent tiles around it. And I initially thought, okay, that just means it copies any of the buildings and just gives me a copy of those buildings so I could use those again. And it does, but it also copies turnips or eventually the icons for like fish. So then you get to a point of, oh, I shouldn't waste all these farms and use up these turnip icons, because once you use up a turnip icon it goes away and now it's just a free space to put another thing. I should leave some of that turnip stuff there so then I can copy that turnip and then I can put it over here and build even more farms and get even more homes. And it just becomes a real game of, okay, now it all really matters where I start placing things to your highest scores. I don't think I've perfected it quite yet, but it's something that was a lot of fun for that night, and it's something I think I might go back to, especially with a daily function. I think that's always pretty fun with these
Yeah,
kinds of games.
that's a good
I don't know
good reason to revisit it.
if you called it out. This is made by Ryan Kubik, and it
I did
looks
not mention that. Thank you.
looks like they've got. I think I've seen this Explore Your Area. It's a walking card game, one that you would download, and I think you have to print some stuff out. There's Captain Pick a Cards, which is pretty awesome name. But there's a bunch of stuff from like game jams, or I'm sorry, jam games and prototypes.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they've been pretty busy, but this game's really cool. I think it looks awesome from what you've shown and talked about so far.
Yeah, I was a big fan. It's free. It's really easy to learn and then tougher to master. It's a lot of trial and error that goes
Sure.
in, but the trial and error is so fast because games don't take very long that it's not like the game also doesn't have an undo function, which on one hand can be like, oh man, it's I really put that in the wrong place. But on the other hand, these games are just flying through, so it doesn't really matter. You just kind of keep placing stuff and you learn as you go. But I had a great time with it.
Nice, man. That is again Island Maker. As a browser-based game on itch. It looks like.
Hmm.
So check it out. It looks great and seems pretty clever. I've got some stuff to talk about this week. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about these two. Wild Frost, we did a stream of. We've got a quick look going up tomorrow at the time of this recording. Chase and I have spent a little bit of time with that game. I really like Wild Frost. I wish I was better at it. I've gotten better, but
I
it's
also wish you were better at it.
hey, maybe if you bought it, learned it, and taught me, I would do it. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you had outgrown the master, Bobby, but maybe not.
maybe not. This
Still a
is
lesson or two I can teach you.
it's a cool game. I've been enjoying my time with it, outside of Chase's unrequested criticism. But I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with the art and unlocking more of the companions and characters in there. Been trying to focus at least on unlocking more things in the hopes that I'll get better at it. But I'm anxiously awaiting that patch. I would like to scale up my abilities with the difficulty rather than getting thrown in the deep end on this one. I think there's a seat at the table. Do I think it's better than a Slay the Spire, a Monster Train, Inscription? We've talked about this.
Yeah,
I'm still
it's
not.
always so tough.
Yeah, I don't think it's better, but it is cool. I think I think it looks great. Johnny, you joined that stream as well. You get to see it in action. Check it out.
It's a
Wild
lovely art
Frost.
style.
Like
Yes.
on one hand, it's not like we're comparing every platformer to Super Mario Brothers and going,
No.
well, it's not as good as Super Mario Brothers because we'll just keep playing that. Um, but also, I think this is such a more specific genre
It
than
is.
platformer that I don't know. It makes it really difficult because I think this is a genre that is pretty well saturated at this point. It takes something really, really special to break into that. to that
Yeah.
kind of elite group. And kind of like you said, I don't know if Wild Frost is there yet. I think it's got the bones to be, and maybe if that balance patch comes out and starts to feel real good, then it might join that conversation. But man,
Hell yeah.
when you're playing with Monster Train or Slay the Spire or Inscription, it's like, well,
Fuck.
It's a lot to live up to. Yeah.
A lot to live up
Sorry
to.
about your damn luck.
Another game that Johnny and I both been playing, so I'll let him chime in here if he wants to. I continue to just be blown away by Everspace 2. I'm still rocking my my Vindicator ship. I've got enough saved up right now to where I can probably get so they do tiers. It's basically tier 2, tier 2 plus, tier 3, tier 3 plus. Tier 3 plus does cost around 450,000. It's very steep, a lot of credits, but I can get a tier 3 plus right now. I'm starting to get legendaries. I've been to all but 1 or 2 systems now, and they all have some really great looks. There's this one, holy shit, man, talking about like their skyboxes, which we've called out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This whole moon was the backdrop, but the moon had, rather than like the ring of Saturn, it had a ring on its actual planet that was like a neon fucking light. And the backdrop of that was so awesome. It was very, very
that sounds really cool.
It was awesome. I just kind of like stopped and took it all in. I love this game. I think it's safe for me to say at this point that this might be one of the best feeling spacecraft games that I've played, of like movement and just responsiveness. It balances between sim and arcade in a really good way. There's enough tinkering on your ship that makes it fun, and I like that you can use a mouse and keyboard pretty effectively with it. But I've also played it on a controller, and it works great there also. They put out their first hotfix for it, addressed a few performance things, and they're going to continue to bring things into it. I'm thrilled. That game from Rockfish is sitting at a very positive right now with a very substantial amount of reviews in, so good on them. Johnny, you are kind of experiencing earlier parts of the game for the first time. Yeah. Anything you want to share about your time?
No, just like it continues to impress me the more I play it. I haven't been spending a ton of time playing games recently, but what time I have spent is I launch Everspace and play it for 20-30 minutes, and it's great. Like, I'm just blown away by what they've produced.
The story stuff is really compelling to me. I didn't get a whole lot of it at the time of early access. They did not have a lot of story beats, and I'm really enjoying where the story's going. It's been good.
I'm getting much more into it for sure.
Yep. All right, let's talk about something maybe that we're both not getting into, though. I tried. This is not typically my style, but I got to talk about something I don't like. So, Chase.
Hell yeah, now we're talking.
If you didn't like how I played games, maybe you'll like how I don't like them. I don't quite know. Minecraft Legends came out, and this is a game that I was pretty curious about, and I want to just call out, I'm not terribly far into it, maybe an hour tops. And I did not spend a lot of time researching what this game would be. I went off of the few trailers. I did not dig into like any dev stuff with it. I just knew this is on Game Pass. I knew that I would be digging it. This is Minecraft Legends. It is made by Mojang, the people that you know and love behind Minecraft, and it's put out by Xbox. This one is,
Love?
Yeah.
We love Mojang here? Well, I guess now that Notch is gone.
Yeah, now that Notch is gone, yes.
Yeah, we can like Mojang again.
This is a $40 video game that is on Game Pass. It's on the Microsoft Xbox family. It is on Windows, and you can actually buy this game on Steam, which Minecraft itself is not available on Steam, but this game is. This is the
other Minecraft game on Steam as well?
Heroes or Dungeons?
Minecraft Dungeons.
Do you want to check that out, Johnny? Let's see.
Yeah, they both are.
Okay. This game I thought was going to be more of a tower defense with RTS elements. As we got closer to the launch, I heard that maybe it was more of a PvP focused game, but I'm playing the campaign, and it is somewhere between tower defense, RTS, and maybe Pikmin, I would say.
Okay.
And it just has a really awkward feel, at least at the point that I've played to. It has a pretty slow onboarding, but you have villages that you're saving and then destroying enemy territories. You can then build things up. It uses a lute, the guitar looking instrument, as like your main source of interactivity in the world. So you pull your lute out and it creates this big circle that if you happen to be by stone, wood, whatever, you just put that circle, release the circle, and there's these bots that come out and auto harvest, kind of like a Pikmin, the materials
build
in the
up your
area.
inventory. Yeah.
That's then used to build and spawn creatures, but you are learning songs that allow you to have the ability to grab certain materials, build certain creatures. And that stuff's all fine and well. The building feels somewhat okay, but it's all pre-built templates. So you don't get to have the creative freedom of like a Minecraft game where I'm going to build this crazy
Sure.
turret tower. These are pre-built archery towers. This is a wall, a ramp. You need to build this bridge to cross here.
The Minecraftiness seems like it's more aesthetic than it
Yes.
is
Yeah.
integral to the game.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing
yeah.
I'll call out. Aesthetically speaking, for me, I found it's not bad. This is gonna be very nitpicky. It's like a very black, like thick black bordered cell shade, which is strange
Yeah.
for Minecraft. It looks very, especially if you're zoomed out because it's kind of isometric. It
It's
looks
just really thick, bold lines.
Yeah, it
that
looks
I'm
cheap.
just
I mean,
not used to.
do you think that's necessary from like a visibility standpoint? Like if you are zoomed out to see your character and the other characters?
I think it's that. I think it's also there's a ton of mobs that come out and a lot of stuff happening that doing the cell shading probably gives them that. And Minecraft, to your point, Chase, does have kind of it's not a limited color palette because they've added a lot to it, but the core things, wood, stone, the different types of stone that would have.
There's no real outlines to the
No.
stuff in Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that does seem like a big change to have like a stroke line around everything.
Totally. But I find personally, and Johnny, feel free to chime in here, just interacting with your mobs that you have and trying to like keep track of all that. Like they try to simplify it down to where you've got like 4 modes. You've got a building mode, you've got an attack mode. It just felt very chaotic and muddy and difficult to read what was happening to you and what you were doing. I'm sure it gets better. I'm sure there's a lot more diversity into your abilities, what you build, what you can mine. But early stuff so far has been a bit of a slog.
Yeah. I like the whole time I was playing, I was like, I have like 3 other games that I really love that I could be playing right now, and this is just not.
And you're not playing them either. You're just.
I'm not. I haven't been playing anything really. So I don't know. I was like, we were talking about streaming this on Friday, but I don't.
You know what's kind of interesting is this is the way you guys have described this game. It sounds a lot like Brutal Legend, where like that was also kind of a tower defense RTS.
Yeah,
I never played that game.
You played as I like it.
You don't think it's an RTS for a while though.
Right, like it feels like it's like some kind of character action game, and then it goes into this battle where, oh wait, this is an RTS now. But it's an RTS where you also play on the field and can jump down or like jump up and fly around and control the battlefield from the skies. I mean, I love Double Fine already, so it's hard for me to find too big a fault in that game. But I know a lot of people were really kind of thrown at like this is what I expected it to be.
Divided, yeah.
I also like. I don't think that this is a game made for me. It's like baby's first RTS, which I like that aspect of it. I can get on board with that because I'm not great at RTS. That I like baby's first RTS. Mm-hmm. However, it's the voice acting is very like Disney kid. It's rough.
I was skipping a lot of the dialogue.
It is rough. Now sure.
Would you describe it as dog water?
Cringy AF. Okay. Dog.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do think that if I go through, like, again, Steam reviews are not great. I've read a few other publications. I think PC Magazine had some pretty harsh criticisms that I do feel might have some truth to what they were saying. Maybe it was a little sharp tongued when it came out, but I'm sure there's an audience that really loves this. I'm sure that it's probably going to have a following. I bounced off Dungeons pretty quick, and it wasn't because the game performed bad or wasn't interesting. I think there's just other shit I found myself enjoying, and like, call me old fashioned, man, but
that game also was like more of a co-op experience. Like that was
it
more
was
fun to play with
Diablo.
other people.
It was just
And if you
Minecraft
didn't
Diablo.
but if you didn't have other people to play with, then it kind of
It got hard.
fell
And
a little flat.
yeah. I would just rather go build shit in Minecraft. This here, like, if they would have given you the sandbox, the last thing I'll make, and I'll let Johnny wrap it up, is there's in Wild Hearts, one of the cool things about that game is you unlock abilities that let you build up things. So if you need to build a turret or a bow or something, you can place these objects and they morph into that. If I wanted to be able to build a turret or a tower on this game, I want to build it. Like, let me build that up really quick. I think that would be cool. Or let me do what I really think fucking Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom's going to do, which is get weird with it and build what you want and kind of piece this thing together too.
You mean like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts?
Yes,
Now
absolutely. Now we're talking.
Video game.
So those are the only things. Like, I'm sure it's fine, but I think Johnny really stated it well. I've got some shit I'm really liking right now that I want to play, and I thought about that the entire time I was playing this, and I was like, you don't need to play this. You got shit
Put it
you
down.
like. Play it.
Fair.
I don't really have too much else to add. We like had this whole conversation as we were playing it last night, and yeah, I think that there's something here for somebody, but
Yeah,
it ain't me.
it ain't me, babe. You know what it is for you, Johnny?
The news?
Getting real weird with your buddy Bobby late at night and him talking you into, hey, stream this game to me.
Oh my god.
Now, hang on. Are we? I'm fine if we want to say, Bobby and I have done a quick look of this. It's been out for a while. People have had an opportunity to play this.
I'm not
are
gonna
we ready? Are
spoil
we ready for spoilers?
this-
I mean,
this
I'm
is-
ready for Spoiler Town if we want to.
This is to be experienced
Yeah.
on your own.
I don't want
but people have had the opportunity.
All I'll say is I went into it not
Wait,
knowing what to
we
expect.
We should name the game.
Pineapple on Pizza
Thank you.
is the name of the game. Bobby talked about it a couple weeks ago. Didn't really say much about it at all, other than Johnny, you should play this. And then after we both quit Minecraft Legends, I think I mentioned maybe I'll check out Pineapple on Pizza, and he was like, "Yeah, stream that to me right now." And so I did, and I played it, and Bobby was trying his best not to giggle the whole time.
Let me ask you this: how long did it take you?
6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check my Steam time.
While he's doing
7
that,
minutes, it says, is my total play time.
look at that. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam with 13,000 reviews in.
It's a good one.
It's a very funny, dumb thing, and if you have a computer that can run this game, which I assume it does not need very hardware at all.
Let me go grab my Fisher Price.
Yeah. So
Baby's first laptop.
It's Windows 8. If you have Windows 8, you can run this game. Anyway.
Best moment contender for me.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I would concur.
So maybe we can talk about it at the end of the year and spoil it.
Yes, that we will definitely talk about it then.
Anyway,
so you've been warned. You only have 9 months.
9 months.
Too soon. That still feels too soon.
You have 8 months to figure it out, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've been up to. Should we talk about the news, guys?
Let's talk about the news.
So
sounds like you guys weren't the only ones having fun with Minecraft these last couple.
Yeah, man, this story is wild.
Watergate.
So if you haven't been living under a rock, you may have heard about this 20-year-old kid that was arrested for leaking military documents.
In my mind, It's the same kid that crashed the Game Awards stage.
It is everywhere. There's a whole thing online.
I know. I
It's
know.
fucking crazy.
I know.
Anyway, this guy, he's been arrested under the Espionage Act, and he was leaking military documents to this splinter group on Discord.
Yeah, like
and
the group itself is not like a Minecraft group, but like the timeline from what I hear is that they had like this military. Oh, we're in the military. We like games. Whatever. This is kind of our place. What do you remember what the server was called? Like their server
I'll
name
look it
used to
up.
be real
it was
fucking
terrible.
stupid. Yeah, Bobby can look it up. But they had this group, and he leaked the documents there. I guess from what they said, there was an argument about the war in Ukraine going on in the Discord, and he's just like, "Well, here's the files." And then eventually they got spread to a Minecraft Discord server.
Yes.
And then they blew up from there and got everywhere.
And yeah, so this kid is probably going away for a very long time for leaking these documents. And man,
I'm still trying to find the name of this.
Talk about like trying to impress your dirtbag friends, and it blows up in your face.
I can't find the name of it.
I got it. It is called Thug Shaker Central.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
So they're up to the good stuff. The thing I found interesting, I've heard a couple of these stories previously where there's another free-to-play video game called War Thunder. You guys ever heard of War Thunder?
Oh yeah.
So it's this free-to-play like vehicle tank combat game, and it was also getting a bunch of military documents leaked to it.
Yeah, because the people that play those games are military obsessive weirdos, and
or people in the military literally working on these tanks or working with these tanks, and so they're like begging for patch notes to be like, hey, this tank actually can go 40 miles an hour and not 39 miles an hour. Here's the documentation. Here's the official legal documentation about this. So then it got to a point. I remember reading a story where some guy's like, yeah, I got called to be a reference for my buddy who was applying for a level of security clearance for the military, and the person straight up asked me like, does your friend play War Thunder? He's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, people who play War Thunder, we've had a habit of people leaking documents on there, so we want to make sure that they're all clear. Like, Jesus, when the military has to ask, are you playing this video game because those people are fucking up our military secrets?
That's a problem.
Maybe you should put the video game down.
Johnny, before we go to the next story, we didn't put one on here. I'm going to bring it up really quick if that's cool.
Go for it.
Bowser's been released from jail, everybody. Not that Bowser. Gary Bowser, who was put into jail by
Doug Bowser.
Yeah.
Doug Bowser.
And
this is a Bowser on Bowser crime.
They're going to get 20 to 25% of all his income, probably for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he owes them a fine
10
of
million?
14.5 million.
Oh my gosh.
He was in prison,
make that up,
sentenced to 40 months in prison. This is part of that infamous hacking ring that happened.
So was it, I thought it was the guy that was like charging, like making money off of piracy. And that is where he fucked up.
He only had a minor role in the infamous hacking ring, but I think there was some privacy stuff that was going on.
Like some stuff.
Yeah. He was initially charged with 11 felonies, including wire fraud, conspiracy to circumvent technological measures, trafficking and circumvention devices, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. He pled guilty to only 2 of those charges and was sentenced to a $4.5 million fine, and later at the additional $10 million that Johnny called out. But he has only paid back $175 of the $14.5 million. So
he'll get there eventually. Yeah.
Don't fuck with Nintendo, folks.
Yeah. Don't steal.
Don't
from Nintendo
steal.
Or
specifically.
any corporation, because they
Yes.
can hire a team of lawyers to ruin your life.
Or if you do it better.
Yeah.
Do it smarter.
Yes.
Don't
Don't
get
get caught. So yeah, in other news, Sega bought Rovio, makers of Angry Birds,
Somebody had to before Microsoft did.
for $775 million.
They like Angry Birds.
I think that number is really interesting, considering
That's a lot of
how
fucking money.
it is a lot of money, but also like Sony bought Bungie for 12 billion, right? Like,
No,
or
I
what,
thought it was
six?
like 2.1.
Six?
They
I
bought
thought it
them
was more than
for
that. I thought it was significantly more than that.
some silver dust, man.
Yeah.
Bright dust. Give me that bright dust deal.
3.6. All right, somewhere in the
Okay.
middle. But like that's a lot of Rovios.
Is Angry Birds that popular still?
Well, the only thing I'm
I-
seeing on their website right now looks like Angry Birds games. They've got Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Dream Blast, which I think might be based off of. They made a movie. There's like
They
a
did make a
Minion
movie.
movie. Yeah.
And that's also what people were talking about as well. Like, both of these companies are well versed not in just making games, but putting out movies. Sega has obviously put out those last two Sonic the Hedgehog movies that have been quite popular. Rovio's put out a relatively popular Angry Birds movie, from what I remember. Um,
They-
and the big thing, it just seems like this is the way for Sega to get a better hold in the mobile market.
Well,
They,
what they
have
needed actually was their slingshot tech, so they could make a Sonic game called Angry Sonic, where you pull
Good.
Sonic back on the slingshot, and then he destroys
Nice.
Dr. Robotnik's
I'm not
Mean
building.
beans.
I'm not against it. Oh.
But Rovio has a patent on that, so they couldn't develop that game until
mean Dr. Robotnik's mean bean Angry Birds
Mean
machine.
Bird Machine.
Yeah.
They have a whole segment on their website. I did find it. It's called Beyond Birds, which is clever. But they have Darkfire Heroes, which is a mobile action RPG. Small Town Murders, solve puzzles, collect evidence, and follow a twisting tale. And then Sugar Blast, which is Candy Lover Maple is dreaming of all the sweetest treats. So there's three other games.
I wonder where they got that inspiration from.
I wonder as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess Angry Birds still makes them worth that much money if we look at it that way.
we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see.
Uh,
TBD.
So I got this from a tweet I saw from
Elon?
some. No.
Oh.
Battlefront 3 got canceled 2 yards from the finish line. That is from Michael Barclay, who I forget which studio he worked at.
It says
but
lead designer of Naughty Dog.
he works at Naughty Dog now, but
Got it.
I guess he worked at DICE beforehand. Or wait, no, was this maybe the original Battlefront 3?
I think this might be the original Battlefront.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that would have been Pandemic.
Wait, are you saying the one that came out on the Xbox era,
Mhm.
or because it's not Pandemic?
Yeah, it was Pandemic Studios.
Oh, I thought you meant like Pandemic, like 2020 Pandemic. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I meant the studio that got subsumed
Sorry.
eventually by EA. I think.
Yes.
Like EA.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, it was a fine name back in those days.
Yes.
No,
Household
nobody
name.
cared about pandemics back in the far-flung times of 2000 and whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but it was a response to a question. What's your one that got away? And that he said this follow-up tweet was, "I'm at a festival and choosing chaos," because he obviously if you say something like that,
that's gonna
Battlefront 2
rile up
weirdos
some people.
come out.
I don't think this. I don't know how much this is news. I remember seeing, not trailers, but remember seeing screenshots and hearing people say like, "Oh yeah, it's basically done," and then it just never came out, and it always seemed ridiculous that it didn't, because those first two Battlefront games sold really well and were really well received. They made a PSP one that was based on Battlefront 2. It's not like people stopped liking Star Wars, so why? But I think what did I remember hearing? Was it something like was it the publisher that was like, "Oh, we're not sure about these anymore. We want to shift to a different Star Wars
I
strategy," or maybe
I have
Lucas
to
was
say,
like,
man,
"Hey,
that
we're not cool with these anymore." I don't remember.
you got to remember at the time people didn't really like the prequels as much as they do now. And I think that the tone for people's reception of Star Wars was certainly changing. There was a really weird period at that time too of just like Clone Wars were really taking off in a big way, but people were still following more canonical events from these games. Like Battlefront was definitely like vested in it. I know that Republic Commando was supposed to fall in between timelines on it. You had the Jedi or not Fallen Order, but Star Killer.
Jedi Academy and
Yeah, Jedi
you mean
Academy.
Force Unleashed.
Force
Yeah.
Unleashed 1 and
Force
2.
Unleashed was like a little bit later, but still, like it was a really weird period for just people's
But
perception of Star
also,
Wars.
I mean, I agree with you. People are generally are not big prequel fans. But oh, is I think I've always felt like that was just the movies that they didn't like the Anakin story being told. But when it came to battle droids and clone troopers and all the new vehicles and we have a ton of crazy lightsabers now, that people ate that shit up, which is why something like Battlefront 2, at least to me, I thought was really cool because now I'm on Camino and I'm uh,
Yeah,
flying around like Jango Fett, whose story is stupid. I totally agree with the story of Jango Fett being
flying
stupid,
around like his head was
but
flying around, or like he was flying around.
he using the Mandalorian jetpack, of course. But
Okay,
yeah, no, didn't. I wouldn't let my boy Django get killed like that. But like flying in like a Naboo starfighter. Actually, the Naboo starfighter is not in Battlefront 2, but one of those ships, the Jedi starfighter. There you go. You could take a
yeah.
Jedi starfighter out there and
Oh, you
fly
mean
around in.
Din Djarin ship?
No, that's the Naboo starfighter.
Oh, okay,
I'm
good.
talking about the one that looks kind of like a TIE fighter
Oh
a
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bit. In episode 2, that's the one that Anakin and Obi-Wan are flying around in at the beginning.
It's a cool one.
I'm a big Star Wars fan. I don't know if you know that.
You
I
take
know a
those
lot.
No,
glasses off.
I
Your
know a lot
love for
about
Star
Star
Wars is
Wars.
as fake as your fucking glasses.
Hey, these glasses are real.
Johnny,
yeah.
let's talk about that Zelda trailer.
Oh, the one that we just showed Chase
The one
before the
that we
show
just
started?
showed Chase. The one that we're going to talk over
Oh.
right now. Tears of the Kingdom trailer 3 dropped. They actually made an announcement that this would be coming. This was a week later after they finally showed us what the hell this game was going to do.
Gameplay, yep. We got like a guided tour of the new abilities, and then they went and dropped this thing.
They said, not only are we going to tell you what you can do, we're going to show you why you're doing it. And if Fuse didn't get me completely jazzed for it, this felt very much like the Zelda I grew up with. The stakes are all there, and that felt really fucking cool. And I've told you all, if they could bring some of those things, the heart of what made Zelda for me, into the world they're building in Breath of the Wild, I'm going to be incredibly happy. In this trailer,
Yes.
I don't know how much of it's going to be in the game, of course, but what we're seeing here, it's really, really well done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it evokes all the right emotions and things, and I think is the perfect way to build up, like leading to the month before this game comes out. And I've watched this trailer so many times.
I know.
I mean, this game is going to have 8 very nice cutscenes, and then the other 100+ hours you're going to play with this game are going to be fucking around in the world like you should.
Building
Because
a big
that's
stone robot.
totally, yes. I mean, that's what this game is. I mean, I love this trailer. I like all the story stuff that's going on here. But Breath of the Wild to me was not a story heavy video game, and I don't really see this one changing to be different than that.
That was my biggest criticism, outside of the degradation of weapons, is that there was not a. It felt like a really cool video game. It did not feel like a Zelda game at sometimes to me, and
Yeah.
that I know that like we've talked in other channels, Johnny, about like you don't go to Zelda for the story or the lore, but like that's what it is to me. Like you become a hero of a certain time period. And I knew that I had to do something big in Breath of the Wild, but I didn't feel like I was propelling something of the weight that this trailer has restored my faith in. Like, you are doing some big shit to be the hero that Link is, or fail as the hero that Link wanted to be. Like, I can't tell yet, but
Yeah.
all that's here, which is really cool.
I did see somebody on YouTube. I did not watch this video because I couldn't. It was too stupid. It's too stupid to watch. But it just the thumbnail said, "Where does Tears of the Kingdom fall in the timeline?" And I'm like, after Breath of the Wild. Like
I
what? What the fuck are you talking about?
I've got my own little headcanon on where it might be. If you want to know more about that history, you should go back to the deep dive that I led.
Inuma
Where
has said it is a direct sequel.
Like where?
Breath of the Wild.
Yes,
That's fine.
Could it go anywhere else?
But they have also messed around with like moving backwards and forwards in time.
Just because it's a direct sequel doesn't mean that it takes place immediately after it. Like, that's like a direct sequel. It's tied to that.
I mean, it could be like 5 years after the events of Breath of the Wild or whatever.
Wait, do you think another Zelda game just so happened to fit in between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom?
No, I'm saying that if you look at some of the things for this game, I feel there's been a lot of stuff within Ouroboros. It's right there on the screen currently. And we know that the first story is Skyward Sword. And they moved everything up to the sky because of the shit that happened. They couldn't beat it. And there's enough happening here in the title of the game, in the words shared in this trailer, and some of the imagery that makes me feel like this could just be the end of the cycle that will forever repeat itself. And that's stuff taken directly from Skyward Sword. And I think that some of the events here will lead to the beginning again. And this is it. Like, this is the final piece of it.
The end of the loop.
The end of the loop.
Okay.
Like, this is the battle that we could not win with Demise.
I mean, that's with the Sky Islands. It's
yeah.
How can you not theorize about that?
How much does the Hyrule Warriors game fit into the timeline? Because like that has some time
there
shit
is.
to it.
Yeah, there's a character. Let me buffer over to him again. I can't remember his name. The little bird.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
There he is. So this is like that part right there. He flies with Link.
Mm-hmm.
He is 100% from that period. Like, he's young. Yeah. And then I think that there's certainly some stuff with time again. Like, if we buffer over the trailer a little bit.
Guy with the bucket on his head.
Guy with the bucket on his head is the toughest piece on there. Like, I think that there's going to be some stuff brought over from that. Some of the villages you go to.
Did little white guardian thing die at the end of Age of Calamity? Is that still a thing? Is that
the egg, the original, the thing that the time machine essentially? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like the little guardian thing. Like
it's what like opens up for the time travel pieces of it. So I think that there's definitely going to be some stuff there with it. I think that you're going to see things being sent back, things being sent forward in time. They've always done shit with like Dark World, and I mean, shit, Ocarina of Time did that, but they've shown the Master Sword's destroyed. There's a good way to go back in time. If there's a time thing in here, they're going to use it to fix the fucking sword, I bet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I can't wait. This has got me just over the moon with excitement. I've watched this trailer a whole lot, and the internet certainly seems like it. This one's been viewed 7.9 million times. So it looks like a big fucking deal. But yeah.
Do you feel like, so we got the original Breath of the Wild came out. Everyone went fucking nuts for it. It's all people ever talked about. People finally gave Dark Souls a fucking break so we could talk about Breath of the Wild before we're going back and talking more about Dark Souls or Bloodborne or whatever. I don't feel like we've really gotten any clones of Breath of the Wild. Like, we've certainly got
Genshin Impact.
That's not true, and you know it. Like, other than the straight copy.
We all thought it was going to be for a second.
That's true.
Sonic Frontiers. Like to have a question with you, Chase.
Is it?
Absolutely.
It's absolutely inspired by Breath of the Wild.
Just having an open world does not make something Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild had
but the little soft piano does, and the vistas they show. all those things. Pokemon Legends of Arceus, I think, was inspired by Breath of the Wild. We talked about that. That trailer opens up the exact same way.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Yeah.
feel like it's more like pieces of inspiration rather than like when Dark Souls came out, we had a lot of people making Dark Souls style games. Fuck, we still do.
It's true.
That those
Breath of the
games,
Wild was one of those.
guess to an extent, but I feel like we had
And
a
Dark
lot of
Souls
games that you
itself
could directly
was
point.
inspired by Zelda, so
Sure.
full
But
circle.
I just think that it's harder to point to a game and go like, oh, that they pretty much just filed off the Zelda part of Breath of the Wild and put out a game. Whereas I think you have a lot of games that did that with something like Dark Souls. What's
Yeah.
the I can't remember the names of them, but there's like the one that's you're like it with factory parts on your hands and I don't know.
I know what
don't
you're
care
talking about.
these games.
Anyway,
There's Neo, the
yes.
Surge. Thank you.
Yeah.
Surge, Neo, plenty of games that are like, oh, you kind of just make Dark Souls again.
I think that there could be some stuff definitely borrowed upon here from like sandboxing elements for sure. Chase, my question is now that we've seen the trailer, we've seen the gameplay stuff, where are you at as the least
I think hey, here's the thing. I don't even remember what I spent my other coupon
your
for.
golden coins?
My ticket.
Yeah.
I know one of them was Advance Wars. I'm pretty sure the other one was Tears of the Kingdom because it just made monetary sense that
Yeah. To
oh,
do it
that's
that
the
way.
way to save the $10 is
Yeah.
by buying that one. I think I have it pre-purchased. I don't remember. Uh, I I feel like I'm gonna play it, but I also feel that I should still go back and finish Breath of the Wild before I jump into Tears of the Kingdom. But I also know I just don't really have any interest in doing that. So I don't know.
Just
It's
play
gonna
Tears of
kind
the
of
Kingdom,
be
Chase.
it's gonna be
Honestly,
kind of a
man,
game time decision.
I think that what you could do, it would not take long at all. Just watch the cutscenes.
Yeah, I could, but that feels lame to me. Like I think the closer thing I would do is just speed run the or not speed run, but at least like focus path to the other two what do they call them?
Beasts.
Giants, beasts, yeah. The other
Yeah.
two beasts that I didn't finish, I did the camel and I did the elephant. So I still need to do the one with the birds and the one with the Gorons. Um,
The Goron one was my
and
favorite.
okay.
Yep. Yes,
Um,
definitely.
so if I just did both of those and then I went to Calamity Ganon and did that, I know I could just go directly to
Yeah.
Calamity
Good.
Ganon, but I don't know. That also feels lame to just beat the game to beat the game. I want to experience the stuff that's there, but
Yeah.
I definitely don't feel like I need to go shrine hunting anymore or looking for more equipment. Although, that's my biggest fear is I don't remember the last time I played Breath of the Wild, so I feel like I'm gonna go in and all my shit's gonna be broken and I'll have nothing. And I'll go, yeah,
Fuse
I
it,
just don't want
baby.
to do this.
Fuse it or lose it. One last thing I'll call about that trailer. You got to hear Ganon. That was confirmed to be Matt Mercer voicing. So he's done.
I know he's done some other big stuff.
Yeah, big stuff. He's in a lot of anime stuff too. Nintendo was also.
That's
I know that
dubbed anime, Bobby. Please,
wow.
get out of here. That's not fair. I like dubbed anime, but
Nintendo said you boys haven't had enough quite yet. We are going to give you even more. The indies happened today. Switch Indie World, Johnny.
And
You watch
Nindies.
the Nindy. It's not an indies anymore. Indie World.
Indie World because there's a world full of indies. I actually really like the idea of Indie World. You get all these developers from around, literally from around the world. A lot of people have translators or subtitles to them because they're speaking in foreign languages. I just think it's really neat uh, to have this show that features this global feel. The games are not just made in America or Japan. Like it's literally everywhere. And I think there's some really cool ones, even if they're not ones that I want to play, which I felt like most of this show was like
Yeah, it was
that.
a very strange one. I mean, I think that there's some cool DLC that they announced. I think that I've been playing the early access of my time at Sandrock, and I like that game quite a bit. I stopped playing it because it just needed to bake a little bit longer for early access, but I think they did say it comes out this summer.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for that. That is co-op, by the way, guys. So I don't know if there's crossplay, but it's got action RPG elements, but it is very much like a Harvest Moon type game.
You're not going to trick me into that.
Anyway,
I
that's what
thought
stood out to me.
Animal Well continues to look really cool,
Yes.
but that
Yes.
game isn't until 2024, so it doesn't matter right now. I think Rift of the Necrodancer looks really cool. I really like the way it is kind of combining Guitar Hero and Rhythm Heaven and even Punch Out. Like the
Yeah.
boss fight looked very Punch Out, which was kind of cool. I just know that I will be garbage at the rhythm part
what
to
was-
the point where I won't play it.
Everhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't it
Someone-
have lane rhythm-based combat
It
like
it
that?
kind
Yeah,
of
a little bit.
like the difference was you were avoiding stuff. You weren't trying to hit stuff on the beat. It was just avoiding the shit that came down the note highway. So it was on one hand, it was a little bit more like you could finesse it a little bit more because you just had to avoid
Mhm.
shit instead of getting the timing exactly right. But that game also then said, well, what if we just completely covered your board with garbage and and we're still gonna make this pinpoint hard, but hard in a different way than trying to nail all your notes in a Guitar Hero style game. One more I want to shout out. What's the they showed it at the end of the montage. It's something we already know about, but like it's the cyberpunky cyberpunk bomb something. The one that's like the Jet Set Radio. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Cyberfunk.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that game continues to look really cool. I hope it's good because I would like that to be awesome.
I would suggest playing that on your PlayStation.
Sure.
I think that'd probably be a better place for a game. Like the trailer looks awesome. I think if you only have a Switch, that'd be cool. But if you have other means, probably check it out there.
Like it's not a fair comparison, but like that's what I want Hi-Fi Rush to be. Like Hi-Fi Rush, I think it's a cool thing on its own, but like I'm looking for my like anarchistic
escape.
teen fucking up the corporate man.
Hey, you're fucking
doing
up the
some
corporate
cool
man quite a bit in
platforming shit.
Hi-Fi.
I know, but I think they're both games like that. I just kind of prefer the cyberpunk thing that they're doing more to the
This looks great. This looks really cool.
It does look cool.
Yes.
Like we
And
barely got to see it at all in the indie world.
I thought that one was coming to Game Pass also. Let me double check that.
It would not surprise me in the least.
Johnny, is there anything that you saw that you liked today?
Outside the stuff that you guys called out, not really. Blasphemous seems like a thing that I would like, but I bought the original Blasphemous on my Switch and didn't play a ton of it. Those like side-scrolling Souls-likes, I haven't ever really had any of them.
It's a gross game too. It looks very gross.
It is. It's very. I actually really like the art style.
Yeah.
Like how grim it is, but I haven't been able to get into the gameplay of any of those styles because there's like Salt and Sanctuary.
Yeah, I remember
There's
a
like
lot of people saying they like Salt and Sanctuary.
Darkest
I think that was
Dungeon.
also kind of the first one of those.
Yeah, and I don't know. None of them have really hit with me so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Animal Well honestly was the thing that I was probably most interested in, which I was pleasantly surprised to see it there. But like Jay said, that's not till next year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was surprised they just came out and said with the Silk Song release date. That was really
Oh
impressive.
boy.
yeah,
They-
those poor people.
Poor folks. All right. Well, that's the Nintendo Indie World. You can check out that replay on their YouTube channel, and there's all kinds of write-ups out there you can find out. But boys, I think we did it. This is the closest we've been as a threesome to an actual casual hour. Let's talk about the week we've had so far. Chase, you and I played Wild Frost on Monday. Had a really great time. You can watch that video on demand.
Johnny was there.
I was here.
He was there. That is up on our YouTube channel if you want to check out that prior stream. You can also stay tuned for a quick look that's going up on Thursday the 20th. And you don't have to be high to enjoy it. It's a good time one way or the other. Being a 420 game. Quick looks, we got Above Snakes Prologue out. That is a really cool game that Chase loves. It's a survival craft game that he is really excited about.
I don't know. The homie didn't seem too into it.
The homie was not into it. Tonight was episode 321. And then Friday night, we were slated to play Minecraft Legends. I don't think that's going to happen. If it is, it'll be kind of like a final push through that to see. But Johnny and I are still kind of working out if we want to play more of that or play something more of a casual Friday classic. So we're going to be streaming. We don't know what. We'll let you know on Twitter. But that's what we've been up to. You can follow along with all of our stuff right there in chat. Chase, my friend, what have you been doing?
There is a new article on gamersonthego.com about my time with Opus Echo of Star Song.
There you go.
I didn't finish the video game, but I finished the video game, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
So I had some thoughts. I think that review, I guess I'm calling them reviews. I don't feel like I was really... I want to be more open than that, but I think I was still pretty harsh on the game compared to what my real feelings are, but I also stand by everything I said in that. So that went up, gamersonthego.com. You can find that there. Also, I do a podcast with our good friend Pierce Corshane. It's called Pilot Program. We watch the first episodes of every television show ever made. Our last episode was on Deadwood, which was pretty solid. And our next episode should be recording next week, and that is going to be on Keenan and Kel, which I'm pretty jazzed about. I think that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
man.
here it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, here it goes.
Exactly. So you can find that at shows.acast.com/pilotprogram.
Nice.
Or go to the link, or just go to the link tree. You're in the chat right now. Go to the link tree. What are you doing?
Go to the link tree. That is going to be it for episode 321 of the Casual Hour. We had a lot of fun. Check out some of the Gamers on the Go and Pilot Programming in between the waves here. We will be back live on Friday night with a mystery game, including Bobby and Johnny. Who knows? Maybe we'll play Destiny.
No.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Good night.